Hi, my name is Kevin Fernandez and welcome to my channel, Gamers Genie. Today, I'm going to be counting down my top 10 favorite bluffing games. Now, I've been trying this as a new thing. I'm going to explain a little bit what this means for anybody who's not really that used to playing a lot of hobby board games or maybe doesn't quite understand the lingo. So bluffing games are games where you basically have to lie in order to kind of push forward with the game, in order to try to win the game. And that's basically it, So any game that involves any form of deception, lying, tricking, they will possibly be on this list. There's a lot of bluffing games that I have played. These are just my top 10 favorites of it. Of course, at the end, I will probably ask for you to put your opinion down as well, because I'd love to hear from you guys. But with that being said, let's count down. Okay, so number 10 is a game that you'd probably be very shocked that I put on this list. It's actually a mass market game. It is Stratego. Now, this Stratego specifically is just the original Stratego. I've never played any Strategos that have a different skin on it. I know sometimes they make like a little changes, but not that much because it's still mass market. They just like peel off the original skin and put on like Pirates of the Caribbean, or like I've seen Stratego get pretty weird. There's like even games where it's like doesn't even have anything to do with like kind of like the theme, because like Pirates of the Caribbean, you could stretch that out a bit. You'd be like, okay, Lord of the Rings, you could be like, okay, and then it gets into like Care Bears edition or something like that. It gets weird. I'm not gonna lie. And then you're like, wait, what does that have to do? What does A have to do with B? But Stratego is a very good mass market game. I loved playing it. It was like one of the first games I've ever played when I was a kid. Yeah, whatever. My parents didn't believe in Candyland, but I did play Candyland. But, I like it. You have to hide your flag and hope that your opponent doesn't find your flag before you find their flag. It's pretty simple. It's very strategic. Everybody always surrounds their flag with bombs because they think they're clever. And I said everybody. That includes me, okay? But it is still a very fun game. It's a very fun game, a very enjoyable game. I do enjoy it. That's why number 10 is Stratego. Okay, so number 9 is the game called Coup. Of course, I did show off that I do have this game. In this game, you get assigned one role, and you can be like the Contessa, you can be like, there's all sorts of roles you can be, but the main goal is to just say, I have this, and then you do their ability, but you could have like somebody else's, you could have a different role completely. That's the whole point of the bluffing thing with this. It's by Indie Boards and Cards. It is a really fun game, especially if you have a lot of people, and you're just going around like going, I have this, and what makes it really fun is when it's a bunch of people who have all just met, because then you already have that unease of like, I don't know this person, I don't know what's their tells. It makes them a little more paranoid. It's a little funny for me, it's a great game. It's a fun game. It's a nice quick game. But yeah, number 9, Coup. Okay, so number 8 is Detective Club by Blue Orange Games. So in this game, there's a traitor amongst you, and you discover who the traitor is by passing out a secret word. And everybody has the secret word except for the traitor. Now the goal of the game is for the person who dealt out the words to make sure the traitor knows what it is, so that way they can get the maximum amount of points. But if they don't, and a lot of people kind of figured it out, and everybody kind of figured out who the traitor is, then they don't get any points. It's pretty fun. It's got that really nice, Dixit artwork that everybody likes. It's a fun game. Unfortunately, the sad part about this game is of course it is also kind of a party game, which means you have to have like a minimum of 4 players to play the game. Uh, but once you get like a lot of players, it's pretty fun and it's pretty enjoyable as well. Being able to try to bluff your way into the group as one of the detectives. So yeah, number 8, Detective Club. All right, number 7 is Go Nuts for Donuts by Game Right. In this game, there is a line of donuts that will be set up in front of you. I don't know if we featured this one on the channel yet or not. Probably not. But you have a line of donuts in front of you, and you have to choose which one you want. But you secretly choose it using a bunch of numbered cards. Everybody has, I believe, 1 through 6. Cards numbered 1 through 6. They place it face down. You can always change your mind, but once everybody has their card face down, that's it. You can't change your mind anymore. You then reveal it, and then if you pick a donut, you get to take that donut. However, if you're not the only person who picked that numbered donut, then that donut has to be discarded and nobody gets it. So it's pretty fun. It's a great way to, so some people can just pick a donut on purpose because they don't want you to complete a set. Like for the jelly-filled donuts, like I'm gonna get like the full jelly-filled donut set. So somebody else purposely picks the jelly-filled donut set just to stop me. It might sabotage them, but they know that at least they stopped me from doing that. And then you get like, the more players you get to add more cards into the deck. So then you get stuff like coffee, you get stuff like milk, you get all sorts, and plus you get more donuts too, and you have like old stale donuts that negate points and everything. You want to get that out of your set as quick as possible. But then there's also cards. I believe coffee gives you points for the negative cards, so that actually can do you a favor, and you could actually end up winning it just by collecting a bunch of cards that subtract points for you. It is a fun game. It is a great game. It's a pretty fun party game as well. So number 7, Go Nuts for Donuts. Okay, so number 6 is The Council of Verona by Crash Games. In this game, you are playing as council members in the city of Verona, and you're trying to make a decision on who you're basically betting. You're betting on whose goal will be completed for each round. Or at the end of the game. You get like a certain number of betting chips, you place that on there. You have to try to manipulate the board so that way the right people are in the right places. Like some places some cards you need to have more Montagues in the council than the Capulets. Sometimes you need more Capulets than Montagues. Sometimes there's Romeo and Juliet's where they have to just be together. It doesn't matter if they're exiled or if they're in the council. They just have to be together. There's somewhere where one person needs to be with Juliet. Make sure that Romeo and Juliet are not together. You have to there's all sorts of different goals that different characters have, and then there's characters that kind of help you manipulate that to help you with that as well. The fun part is you never know how much everybody bids, so people could bid like a big number on something that they know is going to happen or people aren't going to pay that much attention to and then walk away with a lot of points, or you can just bid on something, a low number, and save yourself. That's where the bluffing kind of comes in. Your chips all have different points, adding, subtracting, all that stuff. It's a pretty fun game. I got this for Jordan for Valentine's Day because she loves Shakespeare. And so I alwaed get Jordan a Shakespeare-themed game every now and then. So if you guys know any other Shakespeare or Shakespeare play-themed games, let me know in the comments below so I can keep up with the whole... so I can keep doing that. But yeah, number 6 is Council of Verona. Okay, so number 5 is Citadels by Fantasy Flight Games, or you know, whatever other publishing company has published this game. This one's been around the table a lot because Citadels is one of the games that's definitely been, you know, it's published by a company, then dropped, then published by another company, then dropped, then published by another company, then dropped. I don't know who the latest. I think it's still Fantasy Flight Games that's got the latest one of this, but the latest one I believe was in the year 2000. Mine's a little different. It wasn't from the year 2000, but it also has the expansion, the Dark Cities expansion. Oh yeah, that's downstairs. In it as well. This one you get to take like different noblemen, and you get to place them face down. That's where the bluffing element is, and you have to build different districts. And you get bonus points for having one of every color. You get bonus points for being the first one to complete your city. You get a lot of different bonus points for different stuff. All the different characters gives you like different bonuses, like the assassin, you can kill somebody. The thief, you can steal from somebody. The king, you get to be the first player forever and ever and ever and ever. And have every single player be frustrated because you are going to be the king, because you're going to be the first player forever. The architect, you get to have extra buildings, plus building extra buildings. All sorts of great stuff in there. We do have a how to play video on this one, so you guys can check that one out and see why number 5 is Citadels. Okay, so number 4 is the game Obscurio, and I picked Obscurio because this one has more of a bluffing element versus like the other games. Obscurio, there is a traitor amongst all the other wizards trying to get out of this library, and they can totally manipulate the board to their way if you are really good at that kind of a role. You can completely manipulate it while keeping everybody thinking that you are on their side. You don't have to be like totally like, oh, I'm gonna, nope, you can't do that. No, I'm gonna just keep stopping you. But this one, if you play your cards right, pun not intended, you can totally manipulate it and manage to completely sabotage them from getting out and winning the game. Of course, if they don't get out of the library before time is up, the traitor and the traitor wins and the monsters win. But if you get out, the grimoire and all the other players win the game. I do have a how to play video on this, so of course I will put that in this section of the video so you can check that out, see how fun it is. Yeah, this game is completely fun. This is definitely one of those games where it is actually more fun the more players you have, because that means that there's a more likely chance, there's a harder chance for the traitor to be found out. Now, of course, if you have an itchy trigger finger, like some people in my family, it'll be very easy who's the traitor, and they just sit out of the game for the whole time. And but they still get to pick stuff and everything. It's just we don't all have to keep it a secret. But yeah, number 4, Obscurio. Okay, number 3 is Campy Creatures by Keymaster Games. This game is, you have a hand of these different monsters and stuff. Some of them are like traditional universal monsters. Some of them are like, you know, monsters from basically like American folklore and legends. But you get to play all these different monster cards. You use different abilities to try to affect all your opponents from getting their goals and everything like that. It's a pretty fun game. The artwork is really good. I haven't played it that much, so that's why I'm not going too much into detail on Campy Creatures. I played it last year at our game night, but it's still a fun game. It's still a fun game. Hopefully, maybe I'll try to get that game myself. That way I can feature it on the Halloween poll. But yeah, number 3, Campy Creatures. Okay, so number 2 is the game Treasure Island by Madagot, and that's how I'm gonna pronounce it. If I mispronounced it, I do apologize. But in Treasure Island, one player is going to play as Long John Silver, and the other players are just going to be playing as the people trying to find him and his treasure. So he's hidden somewhere, and one of the best parts about this game is like he has full total control of the board on what's going on and everything. Now, of course, there are probably some limits. There are some limits to this, but he draws on the map different clues and all that stuff, and you have to find him. And if he manages, of course, this is one of those things where he manages to get away, he gets away. And all the other players lose. If he manages to get caught and you get his treasure, then of course you win. This is a pretty fun game. We do not own this game. I am hoping to own this game at some point, but it is like, I've looked this up. I don't know if it's out of print or not, but if it is out of print, because like it is extremely expensive in some of the websites that I've seen this on. If it's out of print, then hopefully like Restoration Games or the company that originally published this game will republish it, so that way we can get this game. But other than that, it is a super fun game. It is a very enjoyable game. I did manage to play this at Gen Con one year, and it was really fun. Unfortunately, like I said, just like Campy Creatures, I'm unable to go into bigger details in this game, mostly because it was a long time ago that I played this game, but I still played it, so yeah. But number 2, Treasure Island. Okay, so number 1 is Battle of Wits by Sparkworks. We do own this game, but however, it was published by a different the company was under a different name at the time. I got like one of the original copies of the game somewhere. It's somewhere in here. Oh yeah, it's over there in the corner. But this game is, you each get to play as one of the characters from the famous movie, The Princess Bride. At this point, it is famous. It's not really, I don't feel like it's that much of a cult classic anymore. Because, I mean, literally, I walk up to virtually anybody, I say a quote from this, and they go, "Oh, you like The Princess Bride? That's cool." But in this game, like I said, you play as one of the characters from the game, yes, and even as the albino. And you have these goblets in front of you. Each one, you have one goblet per player. So you can have up to 10 goblets on your table. And what you do is you have to play a card from your hand. Either you play a grape card or a poison card. You place it face down in there, in the goblet, and then what you also have to do is you have to evenly divvy up your cards so that way you can secretly also bid on that card. Once that's all done, you count up who bid the most, that person gets the goblet. Some people can end up with more goblets, and then you drink. If there is more poison than grape points, then that character must flip their card over to their dead side, and if they have more wine than poison, then of course they get to stay alive. You can keep going until there's only one player standing, or until people just get tired of playing. So you can play as long as you want, or at least as long as people are still alive. This game is a really, really fun game. It is a really enjoyable game. I do have a how to play video on this game, but this is back. But I do want to warn you. I will leave a link to this in the video, just like I usually do. However, this was during an experimental phase where Jordan and I were trying to experiment with how to play / gameplay videos. So because this game was kind of a short game, we kind of went into both. I don't know if we're going to do that in the future. If you want to check it out, and let us know if you want us to do that format with shorter games, because we got like Fox in the Forest and other games where we can kind of do that, but I don't know. I just want to hear from your opinion and know if that's something we should do and something in the future. I do, as a Princess Bride fan myself, I do love this game. Thematically, it's very correct. And one of the best parts about this is the flavor text on the cards is quotes from the Battle of Wits scene in the movie. So, you know, they have like the never bet against the Sicilian when death is on the line. You know, wait till I get going. You know, where was I? Australia. Oh, yes. So, you know, they have all the quotes. This game it's a pretty quick game, but I can tell you if you're a big Princess Bride fan like me and Jordan, you're going to be spending a lot of time reading the quotes, the flavor text on the card, so it could take a lot longer. But yeah, number 1 is Battle of Wit. Well, there you have it. There are my top 10 favorite bluffing games. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell to be notified for videos just like this. And please leave in the comments below, what is your favorite bluffing game to play, or bluffing games to play? I really would like to know, because there are a lot of these games, because it's a relatively easy genre to do. You just need to make sure you keep everything a secret, which most games already have that, keeping stuff a secret. But, you know, of course, we also have, like, of course, I didn't even mention, like, Sheriff of Nottingham. That's a really fun bluffing game to play as well. If you are a big fan of the channel, consider becoming a Patreon supporter on our Patreon page. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. You can support us for as little as $1 a month, which you can then get early access to how to play videos. Not like this, but like some of the videos that this is attached to. We should have a new how to play video coming out soon. This is Sunday, so this is when my poll is ending. And I should know the results very, very soon. And you guys should all know the results as well once I announce it. And if you're a big fan of the channel and want to show it, consider going to our Etsy shop. And I will leave a link to both of those in the description below. I'd like to thank both of the people who buy our merch and the people who support us on Patreon. Thank you very much. Your support means a lot to this channel, and it helps us do what we do. Be on the lookout for our next top 10s list, but until then, thanks for the views.